As before we start our class, everybody set up the right motivation. As I mentioned last Saturday, you can have three different types of motivation. It's a very simple very simple Buddhist practitioner, very simple as a, very beginner. You can think in this lifetime, I will apply the Dharma for not engaging in any of the 10 non-virtuous action. I will engage only the 10 virtuous action. Then after my death, after I died, I can take a good rebirth. Second motivation, you're not just engaging, practicing 10 virtuous action. At the same time, you are cultivating a renunciation and wish to liberate yourself from the samsara, try to achieve a stable happiness, which is happiness of liberation. Third one, you are not, considering yourself, more consider other sentient beings. Then you can think, I will study the Dharma, to practice the Dharma, then through my practices, I can achieve Buddhahood, I can be a Buddha, then I can benefit all sentient beings. Right? So make sure whenever you study Dharma, anytime, so make sure your motivation is always correct and always pure. With a good motivation, first we recite the verses for taking refuge, then foundation of all good qualities. Page number 4. I go for refuge until Lati, to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By manipulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until Lati, to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By manipulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and enlighten to the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha. Manipulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Let's take refuge to the Tibetan until we are free from suffering, until we become Buddha. Wish to be Buddha through practice of 6 perfections, particularly through practice of bodhicitta and the wisdom which realizes emptiness. And next, foundation of all good qualities. Here, so we recite the first stanza and do some kind of cultivate very pure devotion to your Guru Shakyamuni, or your own Guru. The foundation of all good quality is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing and is applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with a great respect. Here also you need to remember, so we has taken a refuge to the Tibetan, right? That time we have a strong uh, kind of inspiration for achieving Buddhahood, free ourselves from suffering, not only ourselves, free all sentient being from suffering. Then how we can be Buddha, how we can be free from suffering? The answer always be, I can be Buddha, I can be free from suffering, I can set all sentient being to the happiness state. How? Through practice of Dharma, right? Dharma. So in order to practice Dharma, we need a person who can teach us Dharma. Dharma is not the simple thing we can learn, without any teacher, any gurus, any master. You cannot really learn Dharma only reading the Dharma book. Therefore, first we must have one guru or teachers. Then many people think, oh, I don't think I need a guru who are, living this day, who are just simple human being, because Buddha Shakyamuni can be my guru, right? Yes, in a way, yes, you can think, yeah, Buddha Shakyamuni is your guru. Yes, he is our guru. And this moment, when you don't understand, certain verses, the meaning of the verses, can be asked to Buddha Shakyamuni? Can be asked to the Manjushri? Yes, we wish, but we cannot, because we don't have the enough merit. We don't have the enough practice to see them directly, receive teaching directly from them. Therefore, we need to rely on our guru or teacher, right? You must remember. Then, when we think about the guru, then the first, the line you can see, the foundation of all good qualities, like a great compassion, bodhicitta, renunciation, sixth perfection, liberation, Buddhahood. It is kind and perfect, pure guru. It is a kind. The guru must be very, kind person, very compassionate person, very pure person. So the qualities of the guru must be kind, pure. Then we must have a correct devotion to him, the guru. The correct devotion, right? The right devotion is the root of the path. We must have a pure, right, devotion to the guru. Most of the time when the people, we uh, accept someone as our guru, we never think the inner qualities, right? We never think what the quality guru possesses. For example, the simple, a school teacher. The teacher must have the right knowledge what he or she going to teach to the student. Without having the knowledge, no matter the teacher is, belongs to very high class family, or the teacher is very being famous, the teacher is look so attractive, so beautiful. Those are not important, right? Being a simple school teacher, the teacher must have the knowledge, which he or she can share the knowledge to the student. But for us, when we think about the quality of the guru, we say, oh, my guru is like very famous, or my guru is a kind of 6 or 7 or 10 or 20, 15 reincarnations, or my guru is son of the certain famous lama. Those are not the quality, those are cannot be the quality of the gurus. So before we cultivate a correct devotion, we need to find the right teacher. So many people really, having problems because at the beginning, they don't check, they don't analyze the quality of the guru. They just meet at the airport or meet at the bus station, meet at some temple or monastery. Since they become kind of friend, slowly they say, oh, you are very famous. You are the 6 or 7 or 10 or 20 reincarnation. I want you to be my guru. Then you just build the connection as a guru and disciple. After a few years, then you realize, oh, the person actually, as your guru, doesn't possess any good qualities. Then people asking, what should I do? Right? So correct devotion is the root of the path. Second, meditating on impermanence, and particularly meditating on the death. We recite the 2 verses, 2 and 3, do meditation. Understanding the precious freedom of the rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasing day and night take its essence. This love is the impermanence of water bubble. Remember how quickly decay and death comes. After death, just like the shadow follow the body, the result of the virtues, not virtues, are follows. Please reflect on the meaning based on the 2 verses. Okay, therefore, the stanza number 1, 2, 3. These are the common path of small scope being, middle, and the great beings. So if you are very simple, you want to be a simple Buddhist practitioner, you must have a correct devotion to the Guru, to the Buddha Shakyamuni, and practice the 10 virtues action, always remembering. So we have very important precious life, which is free, from all the negative kind of things. And the life which I have is a very, very rare, very difficult to find, very easy to decay. Remember impermanence and death. Then after death, then the karmas, virtues, non-virtues karma follow with us all the time as a shadow. This is the particularly part of the small scope being. Next, stanza number 4 and 5. Funding firm and definite conviction in this, please let me always be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity, accomplish all virtues. Samsaric splendor are the uncertain and unreliable, seeking them is the road of all suffering. Recognizing this shortcoming, please bless the general strong wish for place of liberations. Actually, the stanza number 4 must include into the small scoping part. And the 5th is particularly cultivating renunciations. Look at samsaric splendor are the unsustaining and unreliable. That's no matter how much we have, we cannot feel satisfactions. Once we have them, we feel, we cannot really rely on them. Seeking them, the samsaric splendor is like a door to all suffering. The more we have, the more problem we have. The more we have, the more we need more. So the happiness of the samsara is very unreliable, very unsteady. Therefore, what we should do, please bless me, generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation. So therefore, we must think the samsaric happiness is a very unreliable. Right? For example, you feel so thirsty. Then what we do? We do, get a drink. Actually, while we are drinking, taking the drink, while we are drinking the things, also we feel, I'm still thirsty. After you have taken the drink, also there's another problems. All the samsara happiness is very unreliable, very, unsteady. So we must achieve the ultimate happiness, which is the bliss of liberations. But when our body is free from the pervasive suffering, when our mind is free from all the afflictive emotions, then we can have a very stable happiness. For example, just imagine you are being very upset for 1 hour. 1 hour, you are very angry, you are very upset. 1 hour, your mind is full of jealousy. So for the 1 hour, actually, you are look like in the hell beings. But when you are angry for 1 hour or 2 hours, so you feel is very lot of sufferings. So then immediately you remember practicing compassion, right? Practicing compassion. Instead of just generating anger or let anger arise continuously 1 hour, then just you meditate on compassion for 10, 20 minutes. Then the anger is just going to be reduced. And when the anger reduces, how do you feel? You feel very, like a relaxed. You feel very happy. Therefore, when we achieve the bliss of liberations, the blissness, the happiness is always there because it cannot be dominated or cannot be destroyed by other, negative thoughts because we totally eliminate all the negative thoughts, right? Also, we are, among us, actually, we must remember, we must appreciate ourselves. I'm being very lucky for, many, many years. I don't have all the, serious emotional problems. Because since, somehow, since you learn Dharma, since you study Dharma, at least you understand how to subdue, first how to control the negative thoughts. So therefore, you feel I'm very lucky. At least little knowledge I have, which is I can use when the anger arises, you can subdue, you can control, you can minimize. Not able to eliminate, but still you can control. So we are very lucky. Whether you are Buddhist or not Buddhist, whether you are Mahayan practitioner or not, but you are considered and being very lucky. Right? Even though when you go around, because very interesting, when you go around in India, there's a lot of gold shop, that gold shop. I'm always wondering when the people going around how their reactions. Someday you can see very interesting. So the Indian couple, right, husband and wife, they're walking, passing the gold shops. The husband look like the doesn't see the shop, like walking and the wife fully absorbing all the gold shop. Right? That means she wants to buy the gold. Her mind is fully attached to the gold. The husband mind is fully attached to the money. He doesn't want to spend the money, try to disturb the wife. Sure. Then the wife say, okay, we go this shop. The husband says, no, we go next shop. Actually, he don't let her go in the shop. For example, that time when our money is fully indulged or attached to certain thing, at least we know how to control our desire, which is very good. We should not think, controlling desire is not that important. If we're not able to control our desire, then the desire become more strong, finally become very excessive, total out of control. Therefore, you can see some of your friend is, doing all the nonsense thing because the person cannot control the attachment and desire. Or at least you can feel I'm very lucky since at least I know how to control my anger. At least I know how to control my jealousy, hatred. Right? Therefore, the samsaric happiness is very short time, lasts very shortly. So since we were born, actually we always have a desire to achieve happiness, right? So we have all kinds of experience of happiness, right? If you think right moment, this right now, if you think how much happiness you achieve since we born, how much really happiness we gain since we were born. We never ever achieve really happiness, right? Morning we are happy, afternoon, no happy. Yesterday we are very happy, this morning, no more happy. Happiness has gone. So this is a very clear indication that samsara happiness lasts very short. So we must seek, we must try to achieve, the everlasting happiness, which is happiness of liberation, bliss of liberation. So after you add the first stanza on the first, second, third, fourth stanza, then this practice become a part of the middle scope. That means the middle scope practitioner have a pure devotion to the Guru, and remember the precious life, remember impermanence and death, and remember the karma always follow as a shadow, totally subdue, totally control the negative action, always uh, accumulate the positive actions, then cultivate renunciation. This part we call, part of the small middle being. Then number 6 and 7, lead by the pure pause, mindfulness, alertness, that illusion. The root of the teaching is keeping the Patimoksha vows. Please complete the essential of that. Just as I have fallen into the seed of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see eternal sweet bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of the migratory beings. Now, when you see that we are actually in the samsara, we having all the problems, we having all kinds of suffering in this life, we did have in the past, we will have in the futures. When you reflect on based on you, then you feel, I want to achieve liberation. I really want to be free from the samsara. At the same time, when you think others are same, they have the same situations. But then you can cultivate great compassion, then the bodhicitta. Okay, so we can stop here, then we can go to the actual text. Great compassion, right? Okay, developing the equanimity, the root of the loving kindness. Here also you need to remember the order or the step. Our main, achievement is, the actual goal is uh, to benefit all sentient beings. That benefiting all sentient beings is our main achievement. Like being a doctor is to benefit all the sick people, right? So when you want to be doctor, so your main motivation is to benefit the sick people, to benefit all the people who has a physical suffering or mental suffering. Likewise, we as a Mahan practitioner, our main goal, our actual goal is to be benefit all sentient beings, right? Then how we can benefit all sentient beings? Can we benefit all sentient beings or not? Also, question is questionable. You can ask a question. The answer is yes, we can benefit all sentient beings. Right? For example, think about Buddha Shakyamuni, right? So many years ago, like few thousand years ago, he was an ordinary being as like us. He used to have a ignorance, anger, attachment, hatred, all the problem he used to have as us. Due to his own effort, due to his own practice, finally he became a Buddha. But after he became Buddha, he didn't just remain in the peaceful or blissful state. And with the intention, with the kind of prayers, so he take a rebirth. That means he reincarnate on the planet. And this moment, or in the past, how human being receive benefit from hymns. millions of millions of billions of people. Not only people, many sentient beings, many other sentient beings also receive benefits. Therefore, only Buddha Shakyamuni, he benefits millions of sentient beings through the teachings. Also think about, in the Christian tradition, the Jesus Christ, he was just one person, was born in the Middle East. Through his own practice, he able to show the paths for millions of people. Whether he's a Buddha or not is not important. Think about how he really benefit for the human beings. So when we become Buddha, we can have two important benefits. One, we ourselves are totally free from all kinds of suffering, gross, subtle, very subtle. Also, when we become a Buddha, we fully achieve, all good qualities. These are our own benefits. Second, not only having all these qualities, not only free from all parts of suffering, then most important one, we can benefit others. And therefore, achieving Buddhahood is mainly to benefit others. In order to benefit others, first, we have to be Buddha. Right? In order to be Buddha, we need to practice the 6 perfections, particularly bodhicitta. There's two types of bodhicitta. We need to practice bodhicitta, right? So through practicing bodhicitta, through bodhicittas, so we can achieve Buddhahood. Through bodhicitta, particularly the conventional bodhicitta can be practiced, can be accomplished when we practice great compassion. Great compassion, compassion for all sentient beings. Great compassion, can be achieved when we have a compassion towards, individually, not only, generally compassion. When we have a compassion towards individually, then we can have a great compassion, right? Then great compassion can be practiced when we practice, when we are able to practice loving kindness, right? The step. A loving kindness can be practiced. We are able to practice, the pure love and loving kindness when we are able to practice the equanimities. Right? So, first step, practice equanimity. Second practice of loving kindness. Third step, practice of great compassion. The fourth step, practice of bodhicitta. Then the 2 types of bodhicitta. Then we can achieve Buddhahood. Because through all this practice, we're going to accumulate the 2 types of merit. Right? What Karmashila said, when we accumulate, accumulations of merit and insight, the Buddha is as a palm in your hand. Right? So remember all the steps. So we cannot really jump, the 4th step without practicing the 3rd. We cannot jump on the 3rd without practicing the 2nd. So we have to practice step by step. Right? So many of us have a problem. We totally neglect the 1st, 2nd, 3rd step. We jump onto the 4th step. Then we're not going to achieve anything. Equanimity. Right? So what does mean equanimity? Here, right? What does mean equanimity? Free from the aversion and attachment. Right? Equanimity doesn't mean we don't have any kinds of feeling towards anybody. So until now, our mind attached towards our dear and near, towards our friends and family, truly attached. We have a kind of, aversion or anger towards our enemies. So our mind is totally fall into, two sides, attachment side or anger side. So we must have equanimity. We should not attach towards our relatives or friends. We should not have anger or hatred towards our enemies. So now, we have to remember our own experience. The more you attach towards, someone, whether you are relatives or whether you are friends or whether you are neighbors, the more you attach to them, the more suffering we have. For example, you are very attached to one of your sibling, like your brother, where you really attached to them. When the brother, went for holiday for 2-3 days, you are having emotional suffering. You miss him too much. When your sister go for holiday for just few days, also you're missing her too much. When you're missing someone too much, you cannot really do much, right? Your mind is totally dominant by missing someone. Then your mind is strongly attached to your, like the relatives. If somebody criticizes about your relatives, your brother, sister, will you feel happy? No, you feel very angry because you strongly attached to your relatives. Somebody say, oh, all your relatives or someone is a very nice, very good person. You feel proud. You are generating pride. Somebody say, oh, your relatives or brother or sister is a very bad person. Then what happened? You feel very angry. Then through anger, right? Through anger brings a lot of suffering. Through pride brings a lot of suffering. Therefore, we must be free from attachment towards from our dear or near one. Be free from the hatred, aversion, or anger towards our enemy or disliked person, right? Therefore, how we should practice the equanimity? First, you focus on the neutral person, neither your friends nor your enemy. Right? You just see your neutral person, what kind of feeling you have towards the person, neither attachment nor anger, right? No anger. So you have to, cultivate the equanimity towards the indifferent person. Then same feeling, second, you move towards your relatives, general relatives. Then particularly you must have a same feeling towards one of your dearest, one of the nearest one. Right? You have to have a equal feeling, the attachment or hatred. So when you remember, when you look at your relatives, somehow you have a attachment. Attachment. So we need to reduce the attachment towards our relatives in general, particularly reduce attachment towards one of your dearest person. Neither attachment nor anger. Then the same feeling you must have towards our enemy. Somehow everybody has a person which we consider, oh, this person is my enemy. Right? My enemy, or many people don't say my enemy. Many people say, I really don't like this person. I really don't like that person. Therefore, you remember that your disliked person, you cultivate equanimity. Neither attachment, yes, you won't have attachment towards your enemy, but somehow you have a certain degree of anger and hatred towards your enemy. Right? Then also you need to generate equanimity towards your enemies. Then you cultivate equanimity towards all sentient beings. That means your mind become very kind of, unbiased. Looking at your relatives, you don't have attachment. Looking at your enemy, you won't have a anger and hatred or aversion. You have an equal feeling towards them. Right? Okay, first, everybody, first meditate on, visualize the indifferent person and have an experience, equanimity, neither attachment nor hatred. Okay, the same person, you remember the same person, suddenly the indifferent person, receive a lot of good things. You don't have a appreciation, you don't appreciate, right? You don't feel so happy a good thing received to the indifferent person. Means you don't have a attachment. But very easy to have a jealousy. You can jealous towards them, but make sure you don't have a attachment towards the indifferent person. Likewise, a bad thing happened to the indifferent person. The indifferent person, got accident. The indifferent person lost, important things. You don't feel happy because you don't have a aversions. You don't have the hatred towards him or her. Therefore, good thing happen, you don't have a appreciation. Bad thing happen, you don't have a kind of happiness. You have a very neutral mind towards the indifferent person. So remember the feeling towards indifferent person. Now you visualize, you remember like your relatives in generals. Relatives. Suddenly, such as good thing happens for your relatives, how do you feel? You feel so happy because you have attachment. And bad thing happens to your relatives, you feel upset because you have a attachment towards them. So then slowly you try to have the equanimity, even though towards your relatives in general, quite easy. Now you remember or you visualize one of your favorite person in your families or your neighbors or somewhere. You remember one of your favorite person which is very close to you. When you remember the person, suddenly you have a sense of attachment. You are strongly attached towards them or him or her. Some good thing happens, you feel so happy. Not just happy, you say really feel happy. Bad thing happen to the person which you are very close, you feel very upset. Slowly you need to learn neither attachment nor anger or hatred, aversion towards them. You cultivate equanimity towards your dearest one. Okay, now you cultivate same kind of equanimity, same kind of, neither anger nor attachment for all sentient beings. Yeah, this is how we need to learn how to cultivate equanimity towards first your uh, indifferent person, second, generally in your relatives, particularly your dear near one. The third, you need to cultivate equanimity towards uh, the disliked person or your enemies. And finally, you try to cultivate equanimity towards all sentient beings. Right? When you're able to cultivate equanimity towards all sentient beings, mean you try to have a really good land. The land in the past, the land has like a rock, stone, bed grass, lot of unnecessary grass. You clear all the rocks and stone and grass. The land become very fertilized. Then, second, after you cultivate equanimity, you need to cultivate loving kindness or love. Very easy. Right? So make sure without practicing first step, you try to practice second one, the second one cannot be practiced, completely. Okay, therefore, developing the equanimities. Now, compassion. Identifying the nature of suffering. Now, we can imagine, you fully able to cultivate equanimity towards all sentient beings. Then what you need to think first, you reflect on yourself. Yourself. Right? Naturally, I don't want suffering. I don't want, very slight suffering. I want happiness. I want all kinds of happiness. Right? You must remember based on your own experience. So first, make sure you need to remember non, doesn't, you don't want any kind of suffering. Am I right? You want happiness. You always want to be happy, like yourself. Then, likewise, all sentient being without exception, whether you are relatives or you are indifferent person, you are friends or you are enemy, equally all sentient beings want happiness, don't want suffering. As me, I don't want suffering. As they also don't want suffering. I want happiness. I always want happiness. They also, want happiness. From that point of view, me and all sentient beings are equal to have a happiness, don't want suffering. Therefore, the compassion mind has the nature of wishing, right? Wishing all suffering being to be free from suffering. So what does mean compassion? The compassionate mind has the nature of wishing all suffering being to be free from suffering. They meditate on compassion for all sentient beings because they being the beings in the three realms of existence are intensely tortured by the three types of sufferings in various forms. Therefore, first, all sentient beings, same as me, don't want suffering. All sentient beings always want happiness as me. So all sentient beings in samsara always tortured by three types of suffering. What are the three types of suffering? Please answer me. Three types of suffering. What are they? Suffering of suffering, suffering of change, and pervasive suffering. Right? So when you count the number of three types of suffering, you not just counting the suffering. You need to have an experience based on your own, based on your own life. What does mean suffering of suffering? What does mean? Suffering of suffering mean like a sickness, disease, right? Aging, death, all of them we name suffering of suffering. Yes, let me look at since we were born, we always confronting suffering of suffering. Morning you are physically well, afternoon you are sick. Today you are well, tomorrow you will be sick. Yesterday you were well, today you are sick, sickness, disease. Right? So generally, we say sickness and disease. Particularly this moment, how many types of disease and sickness we have on the planet? Many, many, many types of sickness, many types of cancer, right? Many kinds of bone problems, heart problems, kidney problem, liver problem, all kinds of suffering there. Those are named suffering of suffering. So we have been go through, we are having all this kind of problem. Second, what does mean suffering of change? What does mean suffering of change? Mean naturally it is suffering we consider is a happiness, like all the samsaric happiness, right? For example, let's say the KTV club, KTV, right? You want to go to the KTVs, so first you have to spend money. You're okay. When you are there, also you have all kinds of illusion there. You feel happy. Then you take a drink, you feel happy. Then you back to home. Then you remember, oh, I spent all the monies. I take all the drinks. The next morning you have a headache. You have a stomach problems. This one is, suffering of change. Actually, this suffering for the short time, all the suffering minimized that we consider as a happiness, right? Happiness. Also, you can see this day many people, they do like a jogging, and running. When they are jogging, when they are running, they feel happy. Right? And will come back home, they say, oh, my knee problem, my joint problem, my hip problem. They see all the massage and TCM doctor. Also is a suffering of change. Some change. That means I always say in class, until today, since we were born, until today, we don't have a really experience of ultimate happiness. We never have actually, experience happiness. Actually, we have been experience of suffering of change, suffering of change. When you are hungry, also type of suffering. When you eat food, you feel happiness. The happiness also suffering of change, right? Then the most serious one, the last one, which is pervasive suffering. Because on the planet, somebody has a sickness, somebody physically healthy. It's not necessarily everybody has a physical problems. But the last one, for example, we say three realms: desire, form, formless. Right? So compared with desire realm to the form realms, there has a less sufferings. They don't have a suffering of suffering. Still, they have a suffering of change. When we think about the formless being who doesn't have the gross form, gross body, also they also possess the pervasive suffering, which is the body, the subtle body. Since we possess the body, but no matter gross or subtle, since we possess the body, we are always under power of sufferings. That then I always tell the class, just think about all the things we have: the food, the medicine, the air condition, the lights, the cars, all kinds of food, drink is all mainly for what? For the physical body. Pervasive mean, with Tibetan we name say kyabba. Kyabba mean is cover for all sentient beings. Even the bodhisattvas, Arya, they also has some type of suffering, which is the pervasive suffering. Pervasive suffering, right? Therefore, three realms of the existence are intensely tortured by the three types of suffering in the various form. The Buddha has said that heat and other types of pain constantly torture being in the hell for every very long time. He has also said that hungry ghosts, hungry beings are scorched by the hunger and thirsty and experience immense physical suffering. That means no matter where we were born in the future, where we were born as a human being, we have a suffering. Hell beings, there's more suffering. Hungry being has a serious suffering. That means on the planets, no matter other planets when we go, you cannot find there's a one, samsaric being who doesn't have a suffering. Therefore, we should not be too happy to accumulate a lot of merit, taking another good rebirth. When you take another good rebirth as a suffering. So therefore, remember, all sentient beings on the planet in the samsara having all kinds of sufferings. Then this is quite easy, what kind of suffering the hell being possess, what kind of suffering the animal, particular animals has. So remember the suffering. So we just move to page number 5. We no need to read all this. Pervasive misery is what arises under the power of causes characterized by the action and disturbing emotions, right? The pervasive suffering, the physical body we have is arise because of the power of cause. The cause mainly karma and the disturbing emotions. Please remember this sentence. The pervasive misery is what arises under the power of causes characterized by the action and disturbing emotion. Then it has the nature and characteristic momentarily distinction and provide all wandering beings. This is very important, right? So one, no matter the being where they are exists, what kind of being they are, like a desire being, formless being, male and female, or human being, no matter, everybody possesses the pervasive misery, the pervasive suffering, which is the physical body. Can be gross, can be subtle, can be very subtle. They possess the pervasive suffering. They not only possess the pervasive suffering arises from where? Answer me. Arise under the power of causes characterized by the action and disturbing emotions, right? So how we possess the pervasive suffering? Because it arises from causes, mainly the two causes, actions and the disturbing emotions, right? For example, can we accumulate, let's say somebody doing prostration to the Buddha, right? Without having bodhicitta, without realizing emptiness, they just do simple prostration to the Buddha, then we believe, actually, yes, we can accumulate merit. Merit, right? Is action. The action we accumulated, the positive action we accumulated, also the negative uh, action we accumulated, based on both of them actually arise based on the ignorance. Ignorance. This means the action, the positive action looks very positive, but it influenced by ignorance or is influenced by attachment. Attachment. Therefore, it looks very positive, actually not 100% positive. After have the result of the positive action, is about all kinds of suffering because the cause are not really pure. Then the disturbing emotions. Not only that, then the physical body, it has the nature, characteristics of momentary distinction, right? Distinction, integration, and provides all wandering beings. Now, we always need to remember the physical body we have, it is impermanent. Impermanent, momentarily disintegration. Momentarily is changing, right? Where we name suffering of aging, right? Once you feel you are physically quite healthy, just be happy. You feel I'm physically healthy, just be happy. Don't play, too much with your physical body because the body is impermanent, it's changing momentarily. No matter how much you try to be, no matter how much you try to have a healthy body, the body cannot be healthy forever. Every moment is changing, getting older, right? Also, sometimes, yes, we as a human being, when you look at in the mirror, you feel, wow, looks I'm very old. Looks I'm too old. Then what do you feel? You feel upset because you wish to be very youthful. Therefore, on the planets, nobody can be youthful so far you are samsaric being. Samsaric being, okay, samsaric being. Therefore, this is one of the suffering, right? This moment, aging. momentarily disintegration. So remember impermanence, my belongings impermanence. Now I have just be happy with the things. When the things broken or no more belongs to you, let them go. Let them go. Also, physically you feel you are healthy. You just be happy with the healthy body. You should not think I can have a healthy body forever. Right? Oh, cannot. No matter how much you do exercise, gyms, take all the supplementary, the body, nobody can stop. The body is aging. Prevails all wandering beings. Therefore, see all wandering beings as a immerse, as a great fear of the misery, think that they are all like you in not desire misery at all. Right? Therefore, just look at other sentient beings. Everybody has a certain problem, certain sufferings. Then must think, oh, they all are like me. They don't want suffering, they want happiness. Then generate a compassion. Mean I wish the suffering, all suffering being free from suffering, free from suffering. Therefore here, at all, alas, all my beloved sentient beings are in the such as pain. What can I do to set them free and make their suffering your own? Whether you are engaging in one-pointed meditation or pursuing your ordinary activities, meditate on compassion at all time, focusing on all sentient beings and wishing that they all be free from suffering. Right? So here I think without reading all the verses, first I mentioned equanimity, then loving kindness means wish all sentient beings be happy. Right? Then generate compassion. So there's a step. Finally, be able to cultivate, not just verbally, not imagination. Actually, we must have a great compassion. Right? Great compassion. When you have a compassion for all sentient beings, the compassion you sustain all the time, whether you are eating, whether you are playing, whether you are walking, whatever you're doing, in the deep down in your heart, you remember the compassions. Therefore, before you offer a light, incense, before you do prostration, before you recite mantra, before you do your daily chanting, make sure you cultivate great compassion. Then the great compassion you need to carry all the way until you are finish your recitation, until you have done your meditation. Not only done, after you have done your practice, still you need to remember the compassion all the time. All the time. Therefore, I said, a few times. One time, His Holiness Dalai Lama mentioned, it is not appropriate. It's not, it's not easy. Kind of feel comfortable to visualizing all the deities and Buddhas, Bodhisattva on the toilet bowl, right? Somebody sit on the toilet bowl and try to visualize the Buddha. Still okay, but it feel uncomfortable, right? You just sit in the toilet bowl. Suddenly remember or sentient you happily, easily, you can cultivate great compassion. So the first step, you practice compassion for all the time, for 24 hours in 7. Every moment you cultivate compassion. But then through your daily practicing compassion, one day you can accomplish great compassion. Great compassion, right? Yeah. Therefore, pursuing your ordinary activities, meditate on compassion at all time. How? Focusing on all sentient beings and wishing that they all be free from suffering. Beginning by meditating on your friends, and how the step how we can cultivate great compassion. Step number one, begin by meditating on your friend and relatives. Recognize how they experience the various suffering that have been explained. The having seen all sentient beings equal with the no difference between them. You should meditate on sentient being to whom you are indifferent. And the compassion you feel towards them in the same as compassion you feel towards your friends and relatives. Meditate on compassion for all sentient beings throughout the 10 directions. Therefore, first you cultivate compassion towards your friends or relatives, then indifferent person, then all sentient beings. Just as a mother responds to her small beloved and the suffering child, when you develop the spontaneous equal sense of compassion towards all sentient beings, then you have perfected the practice of compassion. And this is known as a great compassion. So this is very clear that how you can say, yes, I have great compassion. I am able to, cultivate great compassion. Just as a mother, right? Mother who has only one child, just as a mother responds to her small, beloved and suffering child. Right? So imagine, right? Yes, you should not think all mother are not same. Yes, it cannot be same, right? Generally, as a mother, that naturally the mother has a pure love and compassion to the child. Right? Nobody really taught to the mother, you must love your child, you must, care your child. The love and compassion toward child from the mother is kind of natural, naturally there. Then, when the child has a little problem, what the mother does, the mother really care the child. When the child little bit sick, the mother immediately give a medicine or give a certain food for recovering the sickness. Right? When the child is suffering in the sun, that his child is having the sun burning, the mother bring umbrella for the child or bring the child in the shadow. How the mother act towards the small beloved child. Likewise, we must be like a good mother, good mother. Then all sentient beings, without exception, like our beloved child, right? Child. Imagine, right? One day, all human being has this kind of, uh, great man have. The world become very peaceful within one day. Am I right? There. So this is the kind of boundary. Just as a mother responds to her small, beloved and suffering child, when you develop a spontaneous, equal sense of compassion towards all sentient beings, you have perfected the practice of compassion. And this is known as a great compassion. Right? So, compassion plus compassion, then slowly the compassion transforms into great compassion. That when we are able to accomplish great compassion, the Buddhist Chitta is next to it. Very easy, very easy. Like a mother has a pure compassion towards the child, when the child have a little suffering, immediately the mother take action. Action. That means this is a bodhicitta. Next, meditation on the loving kindness begin with a friend and people you are found on. It has the nature of wishing that meet with happiness. Gradually extend the meditation on include the stranger and even your enemies. Now the step how we must cultivate the loving kindness. First, remember people who are your close or your friend, cultivate loving kindness. It has the nature of wishing that they met the happiness, that they met happiness. Gradually extend the meditation on include stranger and even your enemy, right? Therefore, compassion start with your relatives, friends, then indifference, then enemies. The loving kindness, first you begin with your dear and dear one, then indifferent person, then your enemies. So here what we need to learn, what we have to remember all the time, the differences between compassion and love and compassion. You will gradually generate spontaneous wish to liberate all sentient beings. Therefore, having familiarized yourself with the compassion as the basis, meditate on the awakening mind of bodhicitta, right? Self-force, equanimity. Second is the loving kindness. Third is the great compassion. Then fourth is the bodhicitta. Right? So in order to go this step by step, sometimes people think wrongly or say wrongly, oh, it takes time, right? It takes time. Yes, it takes time, but it won't take that long time. Let's say for the next, until the Chinese New Year's, you practice only equanimity. Equanimity practice for 1 month until Chinese New Year. After Chinese New Year, maybe another month you practice equanimity and loving kindness, 2 months. Then after 2 months, you practice compassion and great compassion. Within 3 months, first month, equanimity. Second month, equanimity with the loving kindness. Third month, equanimity, loving kindness, compassion. Then fourth month, you can be bodhicitta. But it won't take long time. Because what we do, we have problem. I'm not saying problem. We cannot practice the Dharma continuously, right? Also, we have a wrong thoughts. When we think practicing Dharma means you have to sit quietly somewhere. No need. No need to sit quietly some corner. Therefore, you can practice your Dharma anywhere, right? Even though your bathroom, your toilet, in the food court, in the supermarket, you can practice Dharma anywhere. Also, people has a the wrong idea, or people think in order to practice or Dharma, I need a Buddha pictures, statue, flowers, incense, candlelight, it. Without having all this, the fancy things, you can practice Dharma purely. So we follow Buddha Shakyamuni, right? We are follower of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Remember how many years he practiced, meditate under the Buddha tree? How many years? 6 years. Within the 6 years, he didn't have any like a flower. He didn't have any image of the Buddha, right? So he practiced continuously under the Bodhi tree 6 months. And why we cannot practice Dharma without having picture or tanga, incense, candlelight? No, you can. You can practice anywhere without having any of these things. Right? Then another problem we have, yes, everybody try to practice Dharma in the morning, maybe 10, 20 minutes, then you thought, oh, I have done my practice. That's right. I have done, now I can go, right? Many people say, please wait for me like 20 minutes. I have to practice my daily sadhana. 20 minutes, what you say, I've done, let's go. Dharma cannot be done, okay? Dharma practice cannot be done until where? Become a Buddha. Like all of you cook food, right, in house. You cook food. I know somebody have a very nice and clean kitchen, big kitchen, but they don't cook food at all in the kitchen. Always buy the supermarket. Very interesting also, some of our TBC friends buy drink, food. When they buy food, drink, also they bring with a stove. Buy with the stove. Also, when they buy food, also bring the chopstick and the spoon. In office, TBC, we have a lot of chopstick spoon we don't need. Also, you also, right? You buy food, you collect the chopstick, you collect the spoon, and when you bring house, you never use it. You throw away. Right? Therefore, right, while you are cooking, while you are eating, you can practice Dharma all the time. So imagine when you cook a food in your house, you turn on a gas, 5 minutes, and turn off. Can you cook the food? The food can be cooked? Cannot. The fire must be continuous. On the gas, continuous until fully cook the food. And between, but you can minimize, you can, little bit here and there. But you have to make the fire until the food fully cooked. Right? Therefore, practice the Dharma all the time, everywhere until we become Buddha. Particular Dharma, for example, you are a very angry person, or you are not angry, somehow somebody make you very angry all the time. So you have to practice the compassion towards the person until you fully reduce the anger towards the person. Right? Somebody you are not happy because you have a kind of excessive, very strong anger. Somehow somebody not happy all the time, the person have a very strong jealousy. You jealous somebody, you jealous on something. Also, you have to practice the particular Dharma until you fully reduce the particular, negative thoughts. Practice the particular Dharma. I say particular, okay. One Dharma, yes, there's a one Dharma practice can be reduce all the negative thoughts, which is meditate on emptiness. Right? Meditate on emptiness. Through meditating on emptiness, you can reduce all the negative thoughts. But we are not yet there. So right now, what we have to do, so we have to be practice Dharma one by one. Control anger, practice compassion, kindness. Practice like a jealousy. You need to practice one particular Dharma. Right? So each negative thought has a different antidotes. You need to know which Dharma can reduce which negative thoughts. Therefore, so like practice Dharma is cooking food on the kitchen, on the stove. You need to continue the flame, the fire until the food fully cooked. Right? What we do, we on the gas, heat the water off. Gas, right? Then you haven't really heats up. You on again, maybe a few minutes, you off again. The food never be cooked. Then at the end, what we blame to the Dharma. I practice in Dharma. I practice Dharma for 5 months, 10 years, 20 years, but the negative thoughts is still there. So we never blame ourselves. We never blame our practice. We blame to the Dharma. Then subsequently, indirectly, slowly people blame to the Buddha and the teacher, right? Therefore, what I'm saying here is totally up to you. Nobody will force Nobody, supposed to force you to practice Dharma. If you are very serious about, be happy person, always, free from all the emotional problems, then there's only one way, practice Dharma. Right? Because we are very lucky, we haven't gone through all the, maybe some of you gone through the emotional suffering. Most of us, we never gone through all the emotional sufferings. When you meet one person who has gone through all the emotional person, then you will notice how the negative thought is very serious. Okay, in the past, when I was in Gelang, so there was one person, finally he wrote a books. The person was having serious depression, very serious depression. The person had to take, used to take like 17 tablets per day, 17 tablets per day, sleeping pills or all kinds of 17 tablets per day. Can you imagine? Somehow, he came to see me at the TBC at Gelang. Then slowly he asked me my contact number. Then, he came to see me in my room. First, I said, okay, you can come, I can discuss. While I'm discussing, he looked like becoming a little bit like a crazy. Next time, before he come, I need to lock all the window, make sure he won't jump the window, right? Then I realized how serious is having the depression, anxiety. So if you don't want anxiety, you don't want to go through depression, anxiety, all the serious emotional, torturing problems, please practice Dharma. I used to say many times, in the past, most of us, under the oldest, maybe I'm the oldest one, right? Maybe she's older ones. Like, how old are you? Huh? 68, little older than me. Okay, look at. Okay, how old are you? 71, right? Look at. So we are under the 71 or 75. Imagine when we are like 90 years old, 90 plus, then we can understand what does mean suffering of aging. Then we go understand what does mean, suffering of loneliness. Feel very lonely. Feel very uncomfortable being a very old person. Then when you look at outside, you can see all the young people are enjoying, eating food, going here and there, all kinds of enjoyment they are doing. Then what do we feel? We feel upset. I wish I cannot. I wish I can eat all kinds of food. We cannot digest. That time we know what does mean aging of suffering of being lonely, suffering of loneliness. Then slowly the older people can, generate anxiety, depression. Then look like the person is just waiting for the death. If you learn Dharma, if you really learn how to apply the Dharma in our daily life, the more you getting older, the more happiness you will experience. Particularly when you are stay alone in your house, nobody around you, you feel very happy. You never feel loneliness. You never feel, I cannot do anything. You can do Dharma practice all the time. Therefore, because preparation is very important, right? Preparations. For example, when you buy a car, at the same time, what do you buy? Car insurance. When you bought a house, also you bought the insurance. We have a health insurance. Because we are preparing, something happen, I have this one, right? So now we haven't had all the depression, anxiety, loneliness, but we must prepare. how to overcome all the problems in the future, right? So today we class about equanimity, loving kindness, great compassion, and bodhicitta, followed by the foundation of good qualities. Any of you memorize the first stanza of foundation of good qualities? Perry? Don't look at the book, look at me.
The foundation of all good qualities is
Not cheating, please. This is a pure example.
okay.
Okay?
It's a kind and perfect
Huh?
pure guru.
First stanza. Don't look at. The foundation of all good
Foundation of all
qualities
qualities
is kind
and
pure
pure
guru. Okay. Anybody did memorize the fourth stanza?
No.
Are you? Fourth one? Okay, please chant. Funding.
This life is impermanent and water
Huh? No. Stanza number fourth. Funding firm and definite.
Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to avoid the slightest
Abandon. Yeah, I want.
and accomplish all virtuous deeds.
Oh, very good. Okay, somehow I said it's really, if you memorize, the foundation of good qualities, principle of the three paths, and the L versus mind training, then in the future you feel so grateful to have you memorize this stanza, right? Then when you just sit on the plane, on the bus, on the car, in the park, you no need to open books, you just, recite the verses, one by one, do your practice. It's very good. When even though you are 90 years old, 90 plus, you can practice the Lamrim completely. Because remember, the older people, it depends on the walking stick when the person walking. That walking stick is help the person walking around. So that memorizing the text is not like your walking stick. Walking stick, you can, you can walk well with the walking stick. You can practice Dharma well through the root text. Please memorize. Okay, so at the end, when we do dedications, through our pure motivation, listening the Dharma, through the meditation of impermanence, great compassion. So we have accumulated, great amounts of merits. All the merits we have accumulated. Today we did accumulate in the past, we will accumulate in the futures. Not only our own merits, also merit which is accumulated by other human beings, other, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all merit together. So today we dedicate for all peace. The world really need peace. Mean our merit, positive action, wish to manifest as a peace all parts of the world. Jede yambe yagan dan jedo mene chune za re ma chu mu ge gu ba gu je ne chire ne me de ye den ba shu. Second, we dedicate the merit to ourselves to able to practice the Dharma, to able to practice the Mahayana path. Through practice the path, we can be Buddha, then we can benefit all sentient beings. Mainly, dedicate the merit for conducive condition to practice the Dharma. Simple, you can think. The mind goes to the Dharma. The Dharma goes towards the path. When I practice the path, I wish I am free from all the obstacles. Last, we together merit to benefit all sentient beings, particularly your relatives, your dear and near one. Jide yambe yagan danje do mende june zase zaden moru moge guba kunje ne sire ne me de yedem sho yewa gundo yanda lama dan de me chu ye bala lonje sana lanje yende razo ne doje changi goban nyordo sho. Okay, thank you so much for attending the class. I have a happy Saturday. And also now I know it's everybody very busy because of the Christmas, because of the Western New Year, then because of the Chinese New Year, maybe because of the Tibetan New Year's, right? So everybody should not be too excited to have a New Year's. Nothing can be new. Your life is same, your house is same, your job is same, your friends is same, the sun and moon is same, right? So should not be too excited. We should have a happy new year, right? Okay. Have a happy Sunday, Saturday.